They said it was a conspiracy. They said XRP was just another experiment. But the documents don't lie. Today, as XRP sits at a historic technical level, with the daily RSI hitting an oversold extreme of 27, a much larger truth is emerging from the shadows. We have now reached the point of confirmation. Google didn't just look at Ripple, they chose it. Tonight, we pull back the curtain on the internal emails that link Google's early banking ambitions to the XRP ledger, and the dark reasons why this alliance was suppressed for over a decade. Was it a Bitcoin protection plan orchestrated by the shadows of the past? We analyze the role of the infamous app files and why the elite were afraid of a Google-backed global bridge. From the brown paper bag era of the SEC to the massive $1.4 trillion pivot of the Japanese megabanks today, the pieces of the puzzle are finally locked in. Do not be distracted by the short-term noise at $1.58. The system isn't just breaking, it's being returned to its original engineered architects. Strap in. We are going deep into the iceberg. Welcome back. Before we dive into the explosive documents involving Google, we must look at the immediate reality of the XRP price action. As of today, February 2nd, 2026, XRP is trading in a zone that many would call a crisis. But in the world of professional trading, we call this a historic oversold extreme. The daily RSI has plummeted to 27. To put this in perspective, we have rarely seen XRP reach these levels without a massive, violent bounce to the upside. We told you to watch the $1.60 region, and as that was breached, the next structural support at $1.30 became the final line in the sand. Why is the price being suppressed so aggressively right now? It is a psychological operation. When you see double-digit drops in a matter of hours, the human brain is wired to feel fear. The goal is to make you believe that the utility of XRP has somehow vanished because the digits on your screen are red. But look at the data. While retail investors are exiting in panic, the institutional volume in the dark pools remains steady. This is what we call absorbing the sell side. The bears are running out of steam. Every time the RSI hits this floor, it signals that the selling is no longer organic. It's an exhaustive flush designed to clear the path for the next leg up. I expect a major announcement within the next 30 days. Historically, these deep retests of support levels are the precursor to a massive rotation of capital. When the dust settles and the market realizes that the supercycle predicted for 2026 is still on track, we could see a recovery that takes XRP back to the $2 and $3 range faster than most can react. The key is to control your emotions. Do not let the volatility of a single Monday distract you from a decade of institutional engineering. As the powers of the past fade away, the new financial system requires a bridge that is liquid and ready. And as we are about to see in the Google files, that bridge was chosen a long time ago. Let's look at the facts that have been hidden in plain sight for over a decade. In April 2013, a company then known as OpenCoin, the predecessor to Ripple, closed a seed round that should have changed the world. The lead investor? Google Ventures. This wasn't just a speculative bet. Internal communications from that era, now emerging through the lens of recent investigations, suggest that Google had a vision to link its digital wallets directly to the XRP ledger, to roll out a global payment system, starting with the emerging markets in Africa. But why did it stop? Why did Google, a tech superpower, suddenly go silent on its integration with Ripple? The answer lies in the app files. We are seeing evidence of a coordinated effort involving figures like Jeffrey Epstein and Austin Hill to protect the Bitcoin monolith. At the time, Bitcoin was being positioned as the gold for the banking elite, a system they could control and profit from. The emergence of Ripple and the XRP ledger threatened that hegemony because XRP was too fast, too efficient, and too decentralized for those who wanted to maintain a Ponzi-style scarcity in the market. The emails suggest a deliberate campaign to snuff out the competition. They knew that if Google deployed XRP for global remittances, the run on Bitcoin would be inevitable. Capital would have rotated out of the speculative store of value and into the utility king. So, they utilized every regulatory and social lever to delay Ripple. They created a narrative of fraud and securities violations, the same narrative we've seen echoed by figures like Bill Hinman and Jay Clayton for years. Think about the irony. Former SEC officials were warning the public about fraud in the crypto space, while behind closed doors, they were ignoring the internal warnings of their own employees to give certain assets a free pass. They held Ripple back, not because it was a bad technology, but because it was too good. They needed time to build their own systems, to secure their own bags, and to ensure that when the final rail was finally revealed, they would be the ones holding the keys. But as we move into the second month of 2026, the delay is over. The redacted senders can no longer hide the truth. Google's original choice is coming back to the surface. And this time, there is no island and no brown paper bag large enough to stop it. While we have uncovered the past sabotage of the Google-Ripple alliance, we must now look at the massive reorganization happening right before our eyes in February 2026. The technology that Google Ventures backed in 2013 was never about just another coin. It was about building a technical infrastructure for global, mobile, and instant payments. Today, that vision is being amplified by the most powerful satellite network in human history, Starlink. Think about the original Google plan for Africa, using weather balloons and blimps to provide internet for payments. Fast forward to 2026, Elon Musk has achieved what Google only dreamed of. Starlink now provides low-latency, satellite-based internet to every corner of the planet. And what is the perfect partner for a satellite-based internet system? A satellite-based payment protocol. Rumors of a meeting between Brad Garlinghouse and the new leadership at the White House suggest that the U.S. is preparing a digital asset national stockpile. This isn't just about Bitcoin, it's about the utility rails. Under the current administration, the era of regulation by enforcement is officially dead. The proposed Clarity Act of 2026 is designed to classify XRP not as a security, but as a strategic financial asset. The powers that be have realized that to compete with the rising digital alliances in the East, the U.S. needs a system that is faster and more efficient than SWIFT. They are moving from the Bitcoin Ponzi phase into the utility supercycle phase. When David Schwartz says he wouldn't be surprised if we are seeing just the tip of a giant iceberg, he is referring to the integration of the XRP ledger into the core of global telecommunications. Imagine a world where Google Wallet, X Payments, and Starlink all utilize the same bridge asset for cross-border settlement. The $1.58 price point we see today will be remembered as the Great Disconnect. The delay of 12 years is over. The infrastructure is built. The satellites are in orbit. And the original choice of Google is about to become the mandatory choice for the world. The 1% are ready. The question is, are you? As we close this deep dive into the Google-Ripple connection, we must address the most important factor, your mindset. The price of XRP at $1.58 is not a reflection of its failure. It is a reflection of the market's exhaustion. When the RSI hits 27, the weak hands are liquidated, and the smart money, the institutions that Google and Nomura represent, begin their silent accumulation. We have seen this pattern before. They delay, they suppress, and they distract until the infrastructure is fully in place. The emails from 2013 prove that Ripple was always the intended protocol for the global banking reset. The intervention of figures like Epstein and the coordination of the SEC were merely speed bumps on a road that has already been paved. Under the new administration, with the Clarity Act and the rise of the utility supercycle, the delay is officially over. Don't let the red candles on a Monday steal your position in the most important financial bridge ever built. Control your emotions, trust the data, and most importantly, secure your assets. Move your XRP to your cold wallets. Become your own bank. Because when the Google partnership finally returns to the headlines, the opportunity at these prices will be gone forever. The future is digital, the future is satellite-based, and the future is built on XRP. Thank you for watching. In a market driven by impulse and noise, clarity becomes an advantage. A simple reminder: speed creates mistakes, while calm evaluation creates strength. Thank you for the trust, and for being part of a community that values logic over emotion. Patience is discipline. Rational thinking is protection. As always, the future isn't something to wait for, it's something to prepare for. Stay safe, and as we always do, we don't wait for the future, we plan for it.